Good evening. Welcome to our webinar, Boost Your Immunity Against Coronavirus and All Virus with Quantum Technologies SCIO EDUCTOR EDUCTOR. Prevention is better than cure. So this is, I believe, the most important thing that we can do now, considering the situation. My name is Jacqueline Jacques. I am a practitioner of Quantum Technologies. I have been for 33 years a management consultant. I had a change of career due to multiple sclerosis in 1994. So I have been a practitioner for more than 15 years. I am a trainer, coach, and then I do the promotion of our device I have founded, and I am CEO of Bioquantic in Geneva. I am president of Helping the World Association, and also I am a quantum activist. I believe in the quantum approach, the quantum vision of the reality. So I want to give you the tone of my presentation. Anyone who dies before the age of 120 is an untimely or premature death. This is Dr. Salman who said that. So this is what we want to do. We just do not want to protect us against a virus. We want to live longer and healthier. So we have the potential to reach very high level of health and wellness. And the immune system is important. And you will see, the gradation, how we can go up, up, up. And then even people will talk about bio-indefinite mortality. And I think it is just exciting, okay? It's not immortality, it's bio-indefinite mortality, okay? So the objective of our presentation is to raise awareness about the current challenges in the world and the importance of having an immune system that is in perfect condition, to explore various solutions to boost our immunity, and to ensure that the participants take a definite action to increase their immunity, to live longer, healthier, as quantum beings. Okay, so I would say like superhuman. So this is my vision, this is my understanding. We can reach very high level. So the important note, I am not a doctor, nor a biologist, nor a nurse, nor an expert in medical sciences. All information is presented for education purpose only, and is based on my experience as multiple sclerosis patient and my 15 years as a quantum biofeedback and bioresonance practitioner. Just remember that everyone is unique. There is no one answer that suits all. Everyone must do their own research. And for sure, this note: anyone with an illness must be followed by a qualified health practitioner. So those are some references that I have been that I'm using, in my practice. So many others, but I just felt that those ones are interesting. So I want to tell you that you will have the PowerPoint of this presentation, so you will be able to take notes a little bit later. Okay. So who is this presentation for? So this presentation is for everyone who wants to take charge of his health. You could be doctors, therapists, general public. So you have to understand that with such a, I would say, public, then I would cover quite general, things. So, but anyway, we will try to make it interesting for all of you. This subject is very broad, and this presentation is certainly not complete. It would give some key information so that everyone can do their own strategy to fight viruses. Okay, the subject can be very sensitive, so I do not know who is listening or who will be listening to this presentation. So there will be no what to do or not to do. Okay, everybody should follow their own inner authority, because everybody is unique. The agenda is the current situation about coronavirus, the overview of our immune system, the comparison between the allopathic medicine and alternative medicine in the fight against viral disease, and a holistic approach to boost our immunity. Okay. Hopefully we will have time to do some question and answer. I will not read all the slides because it will be too long. So I'm just trying to give an overview of everything, and by later on, if you want to read, you will be welcome. The current situation in the world today with regard to the coronavirus virus. So first, we know that there is a new name now for this virus, the SARS-CoV, whatever. The disease is the COVID-19. So the coronavirus is a large family of viruses that cause illness ranging from different type we had in the past, you will see, in the Middle East, in the SARS and everything. So they say what we know now is that it can be transmitted between animals and people, and the common sign is infection, respiratory symptom, fever, cough, shortness of breath, breathing, infection, pneumonia, acute respiratory syndrome, and then kidney failure, and even death. So this is, I would say, the general stuff. So it is unlikely that there will be a vaccine for that before they say in for at least next year, I think so. Why it is immunity is a priority? Sorry, there is still some French here, okay? So why is it so important, this immunity? Bill Gates said in 2018, Bill Gates thinks a coming disease could kill 30 million people within 6 months, and says we should prepare for it as we do for wars. New pathogen emerge at all the time. So I give you here, and you will have that in the presentation PowerPoint, the link to read the article. It's very serious, according to me. He knows what is happening. I have a tendency to say because he might be involved in this whole thing, whatever. Okay, so now what does he say in 2020? Look at that. In the 15th of February, Bill Gates warned of a 10 million death as virus spread to Africa. Okay, so again, you will have the link here. You will read this. So this is very much important. Okay. So from what we know is that the coronavirus is an engineered virus. Sorry, I will just still call it a coronavirus because it's easier for me to talk about that, okay? So we were told that this is an engineered virus. For sure, on the newspaper, they say, no, this is a natural disease, whatever. It is spread through air. The incubation days, they were talking about 10 days. Some would talk about 24 days and everything. There is no medication, and the general understanding, and this is a biological weapon for war, to militarize the virus. So what purpose? It is for you to research. See the article on Bill Gates, okay? As I said, I will not look at, I'm just, what I can say, I read a lot of things, the underground thing that I will not talk here. But as I said, it can, that in China, there was this big, I would say, revolution, in Hong Kong, okay? So some people will link this virus, well, the intent was to do something to calm down, the people in Hong Kong, and then maybe it turned out not the right way. Okay, whatever. Okay, so whatever. As I said, I will not speak longer, but I just felt that this was, we could see that the Hong Kong people were just doing a lot of things, a lot of noise, let's say, okay? So what is a biological weapon? We said the outbreak of coronavirus is a biological weapon, a way to militarize virus. So biological weapon is using organism, pathogenic germs or other, to weaken the armies, the enemies, the armies and the enemies, and eventually to propagate diseases that can be fatal or incapacitating. The biological weapon are either bacteriological or virological. So make your own research on those topics, okay? We cannot talk more about that. So why should we concern? So when we consider, virus, we should consider two aspects. The contagiousness, is it the capacity to spread, and is it a deadly virus, the capacity to cause death. Usually in the previous virus, the two contagious and deadly it could be one or the other, but not both, okay? Because if they are contagious, they cannot be deadly, because then if everybody died around, then, whoops, it will not spread. But what we can suppose is that through engineering, the virus will gain some functions. So it will develop and it will become, it will having a longer period of incubation. It gain in capacity to spread and capacity to cause death. Okay, so, it might not be this one, but what I want to say is just to say, let's see a little bit that long term, okay? And this is what is, for sure, this is what will happen, okay? So what if you want to know more about the coronavirus, how it is not create, sorry, I am so sorry about this word, how it infect, how it happened. This is a beautiful website. You will see this doctor, he just present, the way talking about, the receptors and everything. And it's very nice. He's a doctor. He knows what he's talking about. So, and I do not want to take time, in repeating what he says. So I just want you to read that. I think they are more, following the point of view of the WHO, World Health Organization. But, this is interesting. So my approach, in front of any problem, I used to, do not forget, I used to be a management consultant and deal with a lot of, problem, at the client site. So we had a little model, a little framework that we could use always to look at strength, this weakness, the opportunities, and the threats. So that means, for me, in front of this virus, what are my strengths? Okay, if I have a device, well, this is a strength. And then, if I do detox and if I take antioxidant, those are my strengths. Weaknesses, oh, I have already an immune system problem. Oh, I do not do exercise, and then I can look at all my weaknesses. What are the opportunities? Are there some opportunities for me in this situation? Okay, then we will look at that a little bit later. And what are the threats if I do nothing? So then, once you have, any situation, you can always look at that. I like to look at the opportunities so that people will feel, yeah, this is a nice way to think. So you remember the superbug, there are bacteria, and then there is a virus here, and then many, not the virus, sorry, there is bacteria, and there is an antibiotic here, okay? There is an antibiotic, and then there are plenty of bacteria. They die, and then one day they find out, oh, how to overcome this antibiotic, and then they will do the mutation, and when they become a super bug. Can we learn from the bacteria? Maybe the bacteria will become our gurus, our teacher. So let's say we have the individual, there is a virus here, and many individuals will die, and then one day a few people will find a way to mutate, to look at those viruses and say, well, I can, fight this, and then they will become superhuman. Okay, so we say, the hunted will become the hunter. Okay, so let us make it happen. Okay, let us become superhuman so that nobody will ever influence us. This is mainly what, the key message of my presentation. The man need difficulties to be healthy. This is Carl Jung who said that. This is the international symbol of biological contamination. So just please read, remember this sign if you ever see it. The ancient Chinese wisdom. So I want to say that this is the ancient one, not the new one. So the sage treats the disease before it appears, not after. He imposed order on the disorder before it happened, not after. Treating with medication after the disease has developed, or imposing order after the disorder has developed, is like digging a well when we are thirsty, or making sword in the middle of the battle. It is too late. So you just remember that, and then you can just talk to many people about that. Overview of our immune system. So if some of you are doctors or nurses, this will be like basic, but you know, we need to have a bit of a understanding about the immune system. What is important is that we have an army inside of us, and then they are there to fight. So the immunity refers to the ability to, you know, to defend against any substance that could threaten our functioning or survival. There are three types of threat: the microbe, virus, bacteria, fungi, parasite, and then any cell that can become cancerous, or any foreign body, okay? And then we say that there are new threats every day, and you need to remember that. You know, we might say, yeah, there is this new virus. There is not only this virus. We need to think about this 5G. We need to think about the you know, the pollution of the air, of the water, of, you know, all those food that we eat that are not organic and things like that. So the immune system is in constant fight, you know, protection. So two main functions of the immune system is protection against attack. We will not talk too much about that. And also here, it will act as our sixth sense. You remember when we say that, you know, sometimes we feel there's something, okay, we feel this should happen, or, you know, so this is part of our immune system. We say that the nervous system and the immune system use common chemical language, and they will produce a common set of peptide here, and neurotransmitter and cytokine, okay, that will act as a common on a common repertoire of receptors. So this is why the immune system and the nervous system will connect. And also often in our device we would see neuroimmuno or immuno-neuro, okay? There is really this connection. So this is, you know, a picture that is taken from a book of Professor Nelson. So the organ of the immune system and their role in immune response. So we know that there are two types of, well, more than two types, but two main types of immunity: the humoral immunity, that is mainly concerned by the B cell that work with antibodies, and that is immunity that is immediate, which is made possible with the tonsils, adenoid, and appendix for the defense against virus and allergy. Okay, so right away, anybody who has lost the tonsil, adenoid, and appendix, right away the immune system is weak. Right away, we don't need to go so far. We know, okay? Then we know that there is this other type of immunity that is related with the T cell that will fight bacteria, fungus, and cancer using phagocytosis. And then this is mainly, I would say, the concern of the thymus for the bacteria and the cancer, and the spleen for the fungus. And all of this is related or is mediated through the lymphatic and the emotion. So we'll come back about that, but this is what you need to do, or we need to know. So the immune system, or the organs of the immune system, we have plenty. You will see on this picture, but mainly the bone marrow, the thymus, spleen, lymph node, tonsil, lymphoid cell, and look at that here. The mucous membrane of the digestive, respiratory, genital, and urinary tract. You know, all of this contain, you know, some, I would say, or is involved in the immunity, okay? So the question that everybody might need to answer: which organ of the immune system is your weakest link? Huh? So, whoops, so, you know, because we might say, yeah, I feel quite good, you know, well, yeah, but the bone marrow seems okay, or the thymus, or the spleen. But then, you know, if there is one organ that is weak, you know, this is where, you know, the immunity will fail, and then the disease will appear, okay? So absolutely important to say, and then with our device, we can see that, okay? Most of the people do not know, okay? How an immune response works, you know. The immune system needs to be able to identify the self and the non-self. It will detect some protein that will be found on the surface of the cell, and then there will be, you know, the antigen. This is a substance that can spark the immune response. It can be bacteria, fungus, virus, as we say. It can also be one of our own cells. You know, they say with the autoimmune disease. We'll talk a little bit about that too. So we say a range of cells type work together to recognize the antigen, okay? So the main actors in immunity I just put some names here because I feel that this is what we need to know. You know, the white blood cell, the leukocyte, phagocyte, granulocyte, lymphocyte, T cell, B cell, phagocyte, neutrophil, monocyte, macrophage, mast cell. All of this we have in our device, okay? So the idea is that to understand that this is there, we can, you know, we can support them. We can, you know, help, you know, and we need to understand their function. You know, this is so amazing, you know, as I used to not understand. Well, in fact, I think I did not understand very well how this immunity works. I'm not so sure I still understand it so well, but I had the opportunity to give a lecture in Mexico last a few months ago. And then I had to learn, and it was a 4-hour lecture, and this was, I had to learn about immunity, and this was so wonderful to know all of this. So again, we need to know about the interleukin, the antigen, antibody, the gamma globulin, immunoglobulin, IgA, IgM, IgA, IgD, IgE, you know, all of this, you know, this is the type of thing we need to know. And then the organ, thymus, spleen, bone marrow, appendix, tonsil, adenoid, patch, and lymph nodes, okay? And also we need to know about some processes like the oxygenation, the, you know, the pH, the alkalinity and acidity balance, the voltage, we will see how much it is important, and the cell membrane. There are plenty of things. So if you touch at immunity, you cover, you know, most of the thing. Everything is related to the immunity, okay? The white blood cell, you know, the leukocyte. So the white blood cell, we say they circulate in the blood cell and the lymphatic vessel. They are in constant patrol. They look for pathogen. We have around 1% of blood in the blood cell. And then the bone marrow is continuously producing the white blood cell. So our question, is your bone marrow operating perfectly? Okay, so this is the key thing, if the bone marrow is not working properly. So we need to know about that. So many people will produce around 100 billion white blood cells every day, and there are more than 4,000 to 11,000 in every microliter of blood, okay? The white blood cells are vital component in the blood, and there could be a high white blood cell or low. So again, this is the type of thing that we should be able to have, and in our device we can look at that. So 3 types of leukocyte, and then for the white blood cell, and many those who are interesting to me is today is the lymphocyte that will help the body to remember previous invader and recognize them to attack them, okay? So the lymphocyte is the B cell and the T cell. The B cell will stay in the bone marrow, and they will start working when there is an invader, and the T cell will migrate to the thymus. So the B cell secrete the antibodies, and they will, as they are, they say, since antibodies circulate through the humors, the body fluid, the protection afforded by B cell is called humoral immunity. And for the T cell, they instead of producing antibody, they will instead directly attack the invader. And this is mainly the acquired immunity or the cell-mediated immunity. So T cell recognize only infection agents that have entered into the cell of the body, whereas B cells and antibody interact with invaders that remain outside of the body cells, okay? A quick difference, okay? So again, so we have, I divide, you know, our thing, you know, the humoral immunity, the cellular immunity, and then for the spleen. So again, this is important to have all the right understanding about that. We talk about the antigen, we will not speak about that. And the antibody, you know, I just want to talk about the hemoglobin, and the hemoglobin are, you know, what we say, that they are there to, when the B cell recognize antigen, like virus, bacteria, and everything, they mature, you know, the B cell will continue to grow, and they will changing to form the plasma cell. And then those cells will produce some hemoglobin, which constitute the antibodies. Each B cell makes one specific antibody anyway. And then we have a lot of those things, you know. So this is, again, so important, you know, to know. This is part of an immune system that is working perfectly. The IgG, the hemoglobin M, IgA, IgD, IgE. We have most of them in our device. I think we have one that is missing there. So again, we will talk some other actors, you know, in our immunity, the phagocyte. And then again, I will not go too much into this because there is no point. I just wanted to raise this is here, the master cell, because we see this many times in our device, you know. And we say that they have many jobs, including helping to heal the wounds. You know, this is mainly related to allergies, you know. And then the phagocyte, you know, they will attack, you know, the bacteria, you know, they will really, you know, patrol, and the macrophage, they will kind of remove the dead cells and everything. This is the cleaning, you know, cleaning team. So this is really good, and it is important to know how they are working. This is so amazing, the way they are working, so beautiful. So what we want to talk here is the bacteria and a virus, just to make sure that we understand that the bacteria is very small, you know, 1 million, the order of 1 micron. The bacteria is a living organism that can grow and reproduce on its own, contrary to the virus. Many bacteria are not a problem. They even are valuable allies. So we have some disease that is caused by bacteria, like Lyme disease, the nosocomial infection, the tuberculosis, leprosy, that type of thing. A virus is 1,000 times smaller than a bacteria, too small to be seen under a microscope. The virus need to be hosted by a cell that it's squat to reproduce, okay? Viruses are very pathogenic. So we have, again, some disease here, polio, rabies, rubella, AIDS, etc., you know. So this is important. And in the process of the infection, there will be always inflammation. Inflammation is the first barrier encountered by pathogenic microorganisms that cross our body envelope. So what we can say, the purpose of the inflammation is to inactivate the aggressor and to initiate a tissue repair. So what I want to say is that anybody, most of the body there is inflammation in our body. So we need to be able to manage that. They say, many people will say that it is the silent disease, inflammation, okay? And I want to talk a little about cytokine, because eventually we want to know more about the cytokine. We say cytokine are they are cell signaling substance that will act remotely on other cells to regulate their activities and function. So what I want us to understand is that although the term cytokine is little known to the general public, unlike hormone and neurotransmitter, these molecules are equally essential to the communication of our cells. So eventually, we should be able to talk about the hormone, neurotransmitter, and cytokine, okay? They are, you know, they represent a universal language, okay? And this include interleukin, chemokine, I don't know if we say chi or chemokine, I don't know, and interferon, okay? The cytokine storm again. So this is a context, this is something that is interesting. And when, I don't know if you remember when there was Ebola, you know, they talk a lot about the cytokine storm. So the cytokine storm, we say that the cytokine storm occurs during certain malignant flus, where a very abundant production of cytokine cause, for example, an acute edema of the lung, which then loses its elasticity and therefore its functionality, okay? So this is really what we call the cytokine storm. So instead of regulating the inflammation, it causes organic failure that is sometimes fatal. So in some of those disease, you know, viral disease, you know, they might produce those cytokine and storm. So this has to be controlled and followed. The communication between lymphoid organ is important. So the speed of action of the immune system is extremely important. So what we can ask is, what is the speed of action of your immune system? So we can get this information. The biological speed of our of organs, you know, of anything, any I would say any activity in our body is 100th of a second. Okay, so we say here that the cardiovascular system is the only pathway that connects the lymphoid organ. So, and we need to understand also that there is an important interaction between the immune system, the nervous system, and the endocrine system. And then there is this new, I would say, area or domain of study, the psychoneuroimmunology. And this is so important because it is based on the identification of interrelationship between, you know, as I said, the central nervous system, the neuroendocrine system, and the immune system, okay, that are sensitive to psychological and environmental factors. And the PNI, well, look at that, all the interdisciplinary approach, you know, so many. And I just thought, well, this is just an exciting area. I believe that all those young people, you know, they should get into this type of thing. Here are some immune system disease, you know, and then the key element in our, you know, in our discussion here is to try to understand the allopathic method and the alternative method of dealing with virus. So the allopathic medicine is mainly based on antibiotic, some antiviral, and some cytokine therapies. Antibiotic does not work against virus. And the antibiotic, they have two ways to kill the bacteria. Either they attack the membrane or they attack the internal structure of the cell, okay? And if we work with antibiotic, they kill some pathogenic bacteria, but also the good bacteria. So, and then also not all the bacteria are destroyed, and then those who are not destroyed, they become the superbug, okay? So why are antibiotics ineffective? Because antibiotics are simply compound and work on one specific dimension. It is easy for the bacteria to evolve and to counteract the antibiotic. So this is wonderful. And once the bacteria have understood how to overcome this antibiotic, they will spread and they will kind of inform, you know, other, you know, some other bacteria, and then it will spread like in the 101K theories, okay? So this is something important. And so this is important to understand that, you know, antibiotic or all those chemical, you know, research or compound, they are working on something. It's too specific, okay, and too limited. So the virus, we say that they are too small, okay, and they say that the antiviral do not destroy their target but inhibit their development. So they say that we are never, once we have a virus, you know, most of us, we have all the virus inside of us. The key thing is just to make sure that they are not activated. Well, you know, the engineered virus, we might not have them, but all the virus, you know, I would say the natural one, you know. So we should not say, I need to protect myself against virus. Virus everybody has, okay? But the idea is just to make sure that we keep them, you know, under control, okay? You know, naturally the best. The virus action is that they will invade the cell, they will make copy, they will interrupt the process of the invaded cell, and they will even, you know, interact with the chromosome, and sometimes they will, you know, invade some immunity cell, okay? So they say that the antiviral will alter, you know, so that they try not, so that they will not multiply. They will possibly work on the enzyme, and, you know, so we don't want to learn too much about the antiviral because they are not working, okay? Again, the problem with antiviral is that the antiviral works in only one specific dimension, which allows the virus to bypass the action of the antiviral. So since the DNA of a virus is simpler than the DNA of a bacteria, more primitive and more malleable, viruses can evolve against antiviral with an extraordinary speed. Contrary to bacteria, which can take several months and even 2-3 years to evolve around antibiotics, viruses can quite do it fast in a few weeks. Okay, so the pharmaceutical product, we know that antibiotic and the antiviral do harm as they lead to the development of superbug. Worse, and I want you to understand that pharmaceuticals are synthetic derivative of natural product and are not effective, while the natural product are effective. So what is this? Once we understand that, we just say, what is this? So the pharmaceutical company, they are looking for one active ingredient and make drugs on this. And the bacteria and the virus, they are able to grow, and to fight this drug, okay? But we say bacteria and virus are able to grow to resist drug when they have not been able to do so against the natural product that have existed for centuries, like garlic. It's there, and the bacteria cannot fight the garlic. So there was the example of the Tamil flu, and then we say that the natural antiviral and antibiotic are the best solution. We know that antibiotic, this is almost the end of that. So the vaccine, we can say here that for the current medicine, the vaccine is probably the best for what their understanding. The vaccine work as pre-building memory into our immune system. Vaccine contain a weakened sterilized version of microorganism and protein of these microorganism, which is capable of creating an immune response. So should we get vaccinated? Each one should find their own answer. Okay, so we will not say you do or you don't. Okay, so the question, what is important is, do you know what is in the vaccine? Okay, so this is the thing I said, in 58 or 59, and received the polio vaccine that is certainly linked to this MS problem that I have. Okay, so anyway, so the Salk vaccine was licensed in 1955, and then the campaign of vaccination was a rise on this. Okay, so as I said, you do not want to. I do not want to say don't do it. Everyone decide. But if ever you do choose to get a vaccine, visit a good homeopath before getting the vaccine. And this here, I have the full faith in a good homeopath. And when I say go to 2-3 weeks before, just don't go to see the homeopath by saying, well, monsieur, tomorrow I will get a vaccine. Well, allow time for the homeopath to develop an approach that will help you, okay? So this is something important. And then I need to say, for me, I had to go and visit for business to go to a country where there was the yellow fever vaccine that was required, and I could not make it. I just thought I would not do it. And then, there is one advantage of being above 60 years old and having had a health immune problem, then we have a doctor that sang, and then you don't need the vaccine, okay? But, what I want to say is that I am very careful for myself, mainly with regard with my condition. So again, here, if there is an emergency solution, if ever you need to have a vaccine, okay? And everybody should know about that. So the option for destroying pathogen will be natural antibiotic, natural antiviral, and some what we call now the virucidal. Virucidal is there to not only inhibit virus, but also destroy and deactivate them. Well, the destroy, I'm not so sure, because I said that the virus, they are not destroyed. They are deactivated. So I need to just be careful with this, okay? They are deactivated, okay? Natural and antiviral, so some example here, the tea tree oil, the eucalyptus oil, the garlic, onion, olive leaf, oregano oil, they are still effective after thousands of years. And why are they still effective? Because they contain the dozens of biochemically active elements and the so-called non-active element potentiate the active element, offering a therapeutic combination with infinite potential, even in one single plant. And then if the plant, that makes the plant very complex for the virus to overcome. And then we say that, and even better, we could combine several plants in one formula. So microbes cannot counteract the effect of herb. They cannot, they cannot, and they will not. So our holistic approach to boost the immune system, please make sure that understand that the information is given for suggestion only. Everybody is unique. Ask your doctor before doing anything of this. You know, I'm not responsible. I will try to give you all kinds of ideas, and then you choose what is suitable for you. I would just take some water here. I would see if there is any question or if there is remark that make people here. No, I don't think so. Thank you for, okay, now that is good. 1 second. Bon. That is good. We have Mira was here. Mira, she just asked if there is a way to save this presentation. Sure. As I said at the beginning, you will have all the PowerPoint. You know, there is no point for me to just keep this, and then you will. But I will ask you not to share, because it's not perfect. It's a working document, okay? And then I will be so happy to give it to the people who attend the lecture. I will not give it like to everybody, you know, though, because many people will just join and then they might just not be interested. But, you know, for those who took the time to participate, sure, you will have the presentation. So here are quantum technologies and therapy for personalized, preventive, and predictive medicine. This is what is absolutely, according to me, essential, okay? Our holistic approach, first, we need to know about immunity, to know all the biomarkers, not all, because there are thousands, but, you know, the main one, as I said, the immunity is just not to take antioxidant, you know, or free radicals, you know, it's a lot more complicated, complex, and we need to know about that. And we need to be able to measure, to be able to look at our situation and to have a personalized immunity profile. And then to try to understand the strength and the weakness of our immunity profile. And then to have some regular harmonization and the change in our lifestyle to eliminate and reduce stressors. And so that those harmonization, energetic harmonization will be more efficient, and to, you know, to have a monitoring of what is happening, and then we just do. So the idea here is that everybody who has a device, this is what we need to do for ourselves. And then those who do not have a device, I need to tell you that, according to me, and then I might, you know, I am quite, let's say, I am quite clear today that it is important that the people become autonomous, and then there is no, according to me, there is no point to go and see a therapist once a month. I mean, when I say no point, this is not so true. It's better than nothing, but you know, there is a lot of things to do, and then this is why I really feel that people need to become their own therapists with their device, okay? And then they have a coach that they will come and visit as a coach, okay? But just not to go and see somebody to say, well, madam, you need vitamin C. Well, you know, they should know about this. So some, you know, with our theory, you know, approach, what is important, I will just name 2 or 3 principles because we don't have time. But, you know, what is important is that matter and energy, our body is not solid, but instead is made up of mostly of energetic fields. So the body is 0.0001% of matter. We are 99.9999 energy field of information. So this energetic body is the matrix of the physical body. Through balancing the energetic body, the chemistry of the body change. And this is what we need to do to understand. We need to balance the energetic body. To heal the body, we need to remove the blockages in the energetic body. I mean, this is once we understand that, we say, well, okay, most of the people, I will talk to you about a lot of those supplements, but this will take care of all of this, okay, mainly. I am interested in 99.999. So the bioterrain is more important than virus. So we agree with Béchamp that that we need to take care of the bioterrain, and that the pastor had his understanding to approach to fight the virus, and we do not agree with this. We agree with bioterrain. Also, what is important is that according to me, my understanding is diagnostic is an illusion. I wrote an article based on the understanding of one doctor for Quantum University, and then I have it. I could put it somewhere. It is on Facebook, and this is so important to understand that instead of giving all those names, Parkinson, multiple sclerosis, and on the COVID-19, or all of those things, it's just to scare. If everybody who is there, on the boat in Japan, and they are stuck there in quarantine, and then the disease is coronavirus. I mean, well, they are dead, in their mind, they will die. So we should not deal with the diagnosis, okay? So we need to balance the bioterrain. And then if somebody has a problem, we say, well, madam, you have a stress in your brain. What is happening, okay? The principle number 3 is the quantum biology, the intercellular communication. Each function and organ has its own vibrational frequencies. Electromagnetic frequencies can be used to reestablish the electrical and biochemical function. So what can we do now? So to maintain our optimal immune system, we should do prevention. We should have some natural anti-pathogen, and then because it's always more effective if we clear the infection during the incubation phase, okay? So our holistic approach will include some lifestyle change and the quantum technologies therapies. I will go first with the lifestyle, because this is something that you can do right tomorrow, right away, everybody. So the basic, in the lifestyle, and all of those are suggestions. You be careful, you don't apply everything, you choose whatever is your feeling. You just follow your own inner authority. So the basics is to avoid the synthetic food, highly glycemic content, processed food, white sugar. You will read out of this, the tobacco, the stress. But what is important is to encourage the good intestinal flora, food assimilation, essential fatty acid, and repairing sleep. This is very much important to encourage immunity. To drink a lot of water, to wash all the virus, quit smoking, important. And then good food, fruit, vegetable, we know all of this, the immune booster, and then the bone broth, I guess, there are plenty of small books on Amazon. Please read this, understand why it is so important, why you can use it, and mainly in case of this coronavirus and everything. Professor Nelson said that this is something that we should do, okay? And then again, when I say should, we need to just be careful. I will give you an example of something where we can hesitate. Maybe look at that. The bone broth may be used in all those problems. Okay, isn't it wonderful? And it is so easy to make. But some people say about the autoimmune disease, we should be careful not to stimulate too much the chemokine and cytokine and cytokine. So, and then in here I have some article where I have some doctors who say, yeah, with an autoimmune disease, yes, I give the bone broth. Okay. So again, I will not say do or don't. I need to tell you that if tomorrow somebody will prepare a bone broth for me, even if I had this autoimmune disease, well, I would certainly take it. So, but again, you just be well, you follow, okay? You follow your doctor in that situation, or your therapist, okay? And then here there is this inflammation and the cytokine, how it will work. And then I just want to show you how I do not understand the whole thing, and the purpose is not to explain all of this to you, but just to show you that it becomes so complex, okay? So complex. But then in here, so we can mix peppers in some bone marrow soup, and it can kick up a cytokine to stop the virus at early stage. What is important, not as a preventative. So we don't do this even in prevention. We do it if there is a problem at early stage, you know, like, but it is interesting to know. You say bone broth with some pepper. Okay, well, let's do that. And then here they say that the gluten, you know, can be useful, you know, to again stimulate this the cytokine and everything. Okay, so I included because I thought it was nice when I read this thing about the gluten, because we always say gluten is not good. So, well, at least there is a purpose here. So if there is some bleeding, Professor Nelson would suggest that we should use the cabbage juice, again, for the vitamin K. And then Professor Nelson will suggest to use the tonic water and the anisette. That will really make a powerful antiviral to use in early stage of a flu or influenza. Okay, so again, those type of things, you can have this at home. It's so easy to do. Yeah? And then again, there is here a mix that was a recipe for Ebola, but I believe that it is probably good, again, with the bone broth, the mashed malanga, yucca, taro. I don't know all those herb here. I know the malanga here, but the taro I don't know. But you will look on the on internet and try to see if this is something that you could do. And then we say that anyway, you will read that again. You know, it's meant I give all this information so that you will look. Professor Nelson said talk about this sambuca nigra, the sureau in French. That will act on the respiratory organ, the fever, the sweat, the sniffle, whatever. So you will just see, have a look. I look on the internet, everything is there, so you can get to, you know, if you want to try those products. Again, the cinnamon stick and the garlic clove and the vitamin C, we know about that, but again, you know, easy. And the immune transfer factors. So this is something that I use. And then you will see in your device the immune transfer factor. And I think the principle is just wonderful. It has been founded in, discovered in 1949. And then now this for life, they will produce some transfer factor. They say that with those products, we can have the immune cell to quickly identify potential health threat, to speed up the immune system response, and to have the immune system remember the makeup of the specific threat to handle them more quickly. So the idea here is that the for life obtained transfer factor from cow colostrum and chicken egg yolk in patent exclusive processes. And this is good. And then well, as I said, I'm using this because I believe that, well, I like to try always. And then this is, and then this is in our device, okay, the immune transfer factor. I will show you later, a little bit later. And then I like the idea of trying this. Do I feel better? Well, in fact, I have been using this for maybe 2 weeks now. And then, well, you know, without my webinars that I finish at 2 o'clock at night, I'm not bad yet, okay? So this is what I feel. This is something that I will use mainly. But, you know, I'm testing everything that I test. I need to suggest I test. So after, you know, a couple of weeks, maybe it helped to sleep or recover well, because as I said, I have a schedule that is a little bit crazy and it works quite well. So I will be able to give you more information maybe in 1 month or 2. Nigari, the magnesium and the chloride, that is natural, you know, with the Nigari, you can go in the health food store for that. The sulfur diet, it's something that is important because it will help for the production of glutathione, who is one of the most important antioxidants. Here you have a site that will give you the 7 most sulfur-rich food, okay? And then they say that it can help. Colloidal silver, and this is so much important. And then I always have this at home. I am taking this right now also. I do a few things, and this is important according to me, this colloidal silver. Some people might have a bit of a problem because they read all kind of stuff on the internet. I need to say that they say that the colloidal silver will kill more than 650 pathogens, okay? So again, you need to have a good quality. If you are somebody who like to laboratories or to like to cook, they can do their own. You can do your own colloidal silver. It's not you don't have to cook, but I mean those who like to do those little things, And then I have my son. He would prepare always his colloidal silver. He always have it and give this to his children. And so according to me, this is very good. But again, you need to be careful. Just read. You be careful to what you buy. And then you read, and then you just follow your heart inside. Because as I said, you will read a few things that is not good. They will say that we might become with a blue skin. This is like a little bit of a crazy thing, but whatever. So the electromicrobicide, so the colloidal waters done with all kind of minerals, and then many of the colloidal zinc will help the immune system, okay? So again, I have the website here. Again, you can prepare this water, and I believe that, it's not bad to know how to have those little tools. You can, that it's like nothing, it is very much easy. And then the echinacea, we know about that is really, we say in Germany, echinacea is the main remedy for minor respiratory infection, okay? It is an immune stimulant, and it appears to activate the body's infection fighting capacity. We need to take this at the onset of the infection. Astragalus, which is another support for the immune system, we say that it can be taken on a daily basis. It works with echinacea, but echinacea, we take it at the onset of an infection. Astragalus, you can take it every day. So I have not a large experience with this one, but I have heard so many good things. And then the enhancing of the immune system, we have here for the antiviral, the antibacterial. You read this, you keep this, make sure that you have this at home. And the glutathione, in English, maybe there is an E, the best antioxidant, okay? So this is really something that is important, okay? We can find it. It's mainly made by the body, but we can find it in our diet, okay? And our level of glutathione will decrease because of our lifestyle. So we need to have good sleep, the good quit alcohol and everything. And then we take here, we can take milk, thistle, turmeric, and whey protein, that they can boost the glutathione. So I have been, using the whey protein for so many years, because, because of the glutathione, okay? So the glutathione, 10 ways to increase the glutathione. Here you will just again read that and see if you can change your diet. The SCIO, the potential redox, I guess you know about this product. It is just wonderful product for the redox, the oxidoreduction, and then it will strengthen the immune system. It will, look at that, it will increase the efficiency of the body's own antioxidant by up to 500%. So this is just an excellent product. The only problem is that it is sold in a bottle, and it is a heavy bottle, and then it is hard to travel with this. But if you are a little bit stable somewhere, to have that is just wonderful. You need to, we need to do this. It will really rebalance, all the acidity in the body and everything. There exists some other product, but this one is, according to me, very, very, very good. And then the, the Young Living, essential oil, the thieves oil. It's just a mix of nice essential oil, the cinnamon, clove, lemon, eucalyptus, and rosemary. So, I mean, I believe that we all should have, this thieves oil, okay? In this time of, for not necessarily for the coronavirus, but for always. Liquid zeolite, very wonderful. to do a detox of heavy metal, essential. And then the liquid zeolite with our device, with our SCIO EDUCTOR, just wonderful. And for me, 100% of the clients that I have been talking to, I suggest liquid zeolite, or to all, 100%, because everybody has a heavy metal. And if we have a heavy metal, then according to me, according to my understanding, is that all the radiation will have more effect on our body. Also, there will be, the heavy metal will make, the brain does not like the heavy metal. It will create fungus to protect against, the heavy metal. And then we try to remove the fungus. And then we try to remove the fungus, and the brain says, no, 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 there is heavy metal here. I want to have the fungus, okay? So the key thing first is to remove the heavy metal. And everybody, we should have a maintenance, detox of heavy metal. And then with the liquid zeolite, according to me, it's the easiest way. I put here one manufacturer. It does not have to be that one, okay? It has to be, according to me, the liquid one. Here you will see the difference between the powder and the liquid. And then, the benefits here, there are many on the market, and then you just, wherever you are, if you are in the United States, so beautifully. This man was lovely to find this. It's a big, nice story about that. If you are, as I said, in the United States, you have the real true zeolite does not exist anymore. I think the pharmacy, the laboratoire, I think they had the bankruptcy or something, whatever. But now, as I said, you have plenty of nice zeolite. And then I need to say that I did a lot of this zeolite, and I need to do again. And then I was 53 years old, and then my brain became like at the age of 18 with a wonderful memory, and I still have a good memory, I believe, and then this is removing all the heavy metal in the brain. And be careful with the sugar. We should really be careful with the sugar because it will affect the immunity. And this product of Gaston Nissen, I name it because we have this Gaston Nissen in our device, and this 714 or 714X, and this is produced in Canada. You have the website here, and then this is a wonderful product. We say that it is a immunomodulator, okay? Category of immunomodulatory. Okay, so this is very good, expensive, but interesting. Fasting 72 hours. So I do not necessarily promote. I myself do not do 70 hours now. Fasting, I did so much when I was, I would say, a little bit younger. Now I would go more with what we call in French the fasting intermittent, the 16-hour fasting. So I believe that this is enough for me, but those who like to do the fasting, that should be something very much important. And here it's a wonderful website to really relate coronavirus and immune system. And I believe it was very nice. I like it. It was vegetarian, and they talk about whatever, and then I thought, well, I would appreciate, as you speak English very well, in French, I came with this and it doesn't make sense, okay? For them, they cannot read, but many people cannot read. But, for you, so I think it's nice, you might do some of the search and find more, but I think it was nice. The antiviral coffee, to put some coconut oil in your coffee or some drops of sunflower oil and essential fatty acid. So this is good. And then myself, I use the organogold, the coffee, which is a coffee with the Ganoderma mushroom that is helping the immune system. So that is nice because the more we drink coffee, the more we help the immune system with that type of coffee, okay? So that is good. I am in India and I got my organogold coffee in India. So that was lovely. Okay, and then I do this thing too, to put the coconut oil. I like the idea of the coconut oil. Coconut oil is good everywhere. So, and then the CBD oil, I guess many people have tried it. I believe it is very good for immunity. And then I have not been able too much to get it in here. but I did, you know, when I was in Europe, and then I will do again with the CBD. And then here is, I found this on the website, and I thought it was nice for those who like the herbal. I'm not an expert in the herbs, but if there are some people who knows, who want to know the immunomodulator, I thought it was nice to have this, okay? To just see that we can do so much, you know, with this. In case of pain and fever, to go with bark and willow, that is something important. Also the chamomile, also. And then some other, you know, recipe, you know, from Professor Nelson. Turmeric, you will read this, you know, and then there will be some Budwig mixture, and I hope you know about the Budwig mixture. So good for the essential fatty acid. Professor Nelson immune cookie, and then his immunity soup. So just maybe have a look at that. There is also the electroceutical, you know, this is just wonderful. You know, they are medicine that are used specifically target electrical, sound, magnetic, photonic, and other energy impulse to engage a specific biological and physiological function, where the electrical energy is used to initiate a biological change. It is just wonderful, okay? Electroceutical are medicine that stimulate hormone and enzyme activity or correct disease or aberrant process without drug or synthetic chemical. So this is really, really, really wonderful. This is the new, you know, as I said, the new medicine. And in our device, you know, the module big biofeedback interface graphic, we have this immunity builder. And then you can find it on YouTube, and then yeah, you know, it is good. Why I like it is because when we have the electroceutical, usually there is always like a nice music, and then, you know, but the frequency is at the back, okay? But this one, you just hear the frequency, and I like it. I mean, nothing interesting to hear, you know, because it's only bing, bing, bing. But it is interesting to say, well, yeah, there is really something behind that, okay? It's not a music, okay? So this is interesting. There are plenty, and on the internet, you can find a lot with Professor Desiree Dubonnet, who do a lot of those things. Here, there was this information about the GCMAF and the Nagalas a few years ago, and then there seems to be a lot of controversy right now still, because there have been some abuse of all of this. So I don't know exactly. What I want to say is that it is, I believe the concept or the idea was interesting, and then we can work with the frequency in our device. So now we can talk about our technologies, okay? I call it our personal, portable, holistic medical clinic. So I travel with my portable, personal medical clinic, okay? A holistic. And this is what is wonderful, okay? I can do a lot of things, you know, when I travel, and then I will remove a lot of things in my suitcase. I will always have everything that I need, always have my computer and my device with me, okay? So healing is voltage. So what is important is that you can read this book of Jerry Tennant, you know, Healing is Voltage. And we say here that every cell has an electrical potential across the cell membrane. If this potential is destroyed, you know, the cell dies. The body has an electrical component to all function. And this is why voltage is so important. And this Jerry Tennant, he would say you can take whatever, you know, supplement you want. If you do not have the voltage, this supplement will not work. So this is so much important. And also, when the voltage become low, then there is acidity. When there is acidity, there is pain. And if there is pain, and there is also less oxygen, and when there is less oxygen, there is less energy. So everything is related to voltage. So, and this is why, you know, it is interesting working with the voltage. So the body voltage will be, we say factors that influence the body voltage and the membrane potential are fatty acid in the cell membrane, the minerals, the some salt, hydration, water, oxygenation, stress, toxin, and lifestyle. Okay, So you will read that, but this is really important. And I suggest that you read the book of Jerry Tennant. If you want to find the secret of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Nikola Tesla, very wonderful, very great man. And then in here, this when Schrödinger, life need a nutrient we can reliably call the quantum negentropy. It is not in a scientific text. It is a force that fights against decay and death. And this is really something that is I believe, in what we are doing with the electrodynamic and all the biofeedback and everything. So the understanding of what is behind our device is what I believe could help in the increase of this entropy. Negative entropy against entropy. So our proposal is to manage and eradicate stress, physical, mental, emotional, environmental, social, professional, with quantum technologies and therapy that are holistic, personalized, efficient, safe, pain-free, drug-free, eco-friendly, scientifically proven, based on quantum physics, biofeedback, and bioresonance, for personalized, preventive, and predictive medicine. So it is just, according to me, so easy and so evident that this is what we need to do. So those are the devices that we are using, the SCIO INDIGO EDUCTOR, and then there will be new device, with the QX series. We will not talk too much about that because we might not have that much of time. So I made it quite well. If I look at the time, I will see if you have question in here. Okay. There is no question up to now. I hope everything is good. So now we go into the device a little bit more. And then again, what is important is that this is not a training tonight. It's just like an overview, just to get you excited to say, well, okay, hey, I need to learn more. I'm doing something, but maybe we can learn in a different way. We can work together. And my goal is that for the practitioners, that we can have some webinars to work on immunity and other pillars of health. I will talk to you about that. So here, I just want to say, in EDUCTOR, we have some marker about immunity profile. So again, we will look at that when we will look at our device. But just to look at the, when we see autoaggressive dysfunction, we have the risk profile. We have all the organ and sarcode of the immune. We have plenty of things. I will show it to you later on. But what I want to say is that we have everything in our device to build an immunity profile, okay, to make. And then we can look and have some, I would say, individual reaction, sorry for the French, for some element that is related to the immunity. As I said, there are so many things about immunity. So when I will show you, the device, we will have, all those, numbers like Thymus disease, 6100. So then, this type of thing, then we can test my reaction or my reactivity if this is significant for me today. It does not mean that we do or make a diagnosis. There is no diagnostic. We are working on the energy, okay? And then at the energetic level, is this significant for me? And then if it is significant, we will remove the stress or help build this thymus so that it will reject the disease. And then the disease will not appear in the physical, okay? Again, the energetic body is the matrix of the physical body. So we will do some special search, immune, radiation, or glutathione. Again, we have all of this. I will just show you quickly, and then we will go into the device. And then again, here we have so I will just go into the device, and then we will look at those things. So in the device. So the first thing what I like to talk about is mainly, one second, I will just make sure, is mainly the reactance speed index, this thing here. This thing here, okay? Not the one, the small one, this one here. This is what I believe is the most important, when we look about immunity. There are plenty of other things, but this one we just showed very clearly, the speed of the immune system, of the reaction of the immune system. So what I like, and I am very much, I would say demanding. So what I want to say first is that in the device, before we start, we always have an interview with the client. There is the calibration where the device will establish some basic, I would say, measure of the electric body. And those are the numbers, okay? And there is many numbers that with many significant, many meaning, let's say. But the one that I like is this reactant speed index, because it gives me the speed of the immune system of that client. We said during the lecture that it should be the biological speed is 100th of a second. And here his immune system is working at 1/90th of a second, okay? 1 on 90, okay? So the idea is that according to me, he's a young man, 37 years old. I would say, Monsieur, 13 is too high. I want this low. The more this, here is the number of times that the system had to test the client to make him react. So the system had to redo it maybe 13 times. Just think that if coronavirus is there or Ebola or whatever, the immune system is not reacting a lot. Like for somebody of my age, it will be probably okay. But at age 37, I would push this young man, okay? So this is like, as I said, there are many measures, but this is really, we want to have an immune system that is so reactive. So one of the thing important, when we start and give, our session, we always ask a few questions about the, I would say, lifestyle of the person, and then we ask if the person has been if that person had some organ that have been removed, including what? Appendix, tonsil, and adenoids. And then if people say, oh yeah, I do not have the, I was, there was a surgery and then they remove, the appendix when I was 5 years old. This is so important, okay? To know, right away that the immune system is weak. Right away, okay? If, I would say the spleen or the thymus has to work harder to, to just, take charge of what is, of the organ, to take charge of the function of the organs that have been removed. And when we do the calibration, when the device connect with the client, there is always some indication if there is some geographic stress, geopathic stress. So this is also important when I see this Curie cross, okay? And then, so that is something that is important, okay? So again, when in here, what we do here, when we have here the list of all the signature, homeopathic signature, here we have more than 10,800 of those signature. And then what I like to always show to the people the first time, when they see that, they say, oh yeah, okay, yeah. They think that there is one line. They don't know what is behind that, okay? So what I would like is that I would just show you how all of this has been codified. So it will give you more understanding or more, I would say, credibility. If I take, like, say here, the small intestine, okay? The small intestine. This is a frequency. This is like a meridian, small intestine meridian. Everybody knows about the meridian. So here, the young man is reactive to that, so that in a sense, we could harmonize this. So we want to see how this has been, programmed in the system. So we can just go and see the chart. So for each and every line that you have seen, there are more than 10,800 of those lines. You go and load, and there is a matrix of 22 by 22 by 22 of all those numbers. And then there is a chart. Look at that. Whoops. This is the tri-dimension picture of the signature of the, the small intestine meridian. Isn't it wonderful? And each and every line there will be a picture. If I would choose something else, I don't have time tonight, but you will just do that. And this is just, this is the creativity of Professor Nelson. He did that. This is just lovely. So what you could do also, then you can look and rate, you know, whatever virus here, or the immune, I could say immune, okay? And then see for that client, you know, what is it that that he is reactive to today, okay? Then I will look, and then it will show you me here in color, you know, the red, the violet, the yellow, showed me that this young man, like his body want to have something to harmonize all of this, okay? So this is something that is interesting. And if I want, if I say, okay, this young man, there is here a very nice Ayurvedic, the signature, homeopathic signature of a nice Ayurvedic product for the balancing of the immune function. I can just put in highlight and just treat, okay? Very easy. And in our training, we learn how to give, we can give many frequencies at the same time. Now I just want to show you one by one. And then we have always a result here where we can see what is happening. Usually I will not go, you know, for the people who knows and working with the device, we don't go and stimulate right away. We need to prepare the organ, okay? And one of the reasons why we would not, one of the reasons why we would prepare the organ is that, you know, the people were not used to be treated with frequencies. So what we want to do is to do some preparation. And let's say that we are talking about the immune system, then we could prepare and work on the endocrine, but many on the timers here. I can just click on the timers, and then I will see here down if it is reactive. Okay, so this is something, look at that, only 50%. So right away, you know, I can see that the immune system need to, you know, I would need to do more work, you know, for the preparation, okay? Then what I want also to show you, so the preparation, we have everything we could prepare, you know, for all other thing, you know, if we have some other objective, but tonight we are talking about immunity, okay? So that is something. And then if I work, you know, and do a search, and then I can do, so what I will do here, I will just choose one frequency that is immune weakness, okay? So this number is 6057, okay? So this is like one frequency that I will just look, the immune weakness. So the immune weakness, that's it. The first thing I could do, I could test if the client is, if this is significant for the client. I will not do it because we will not have time, okay? But I could check and see if this is significant a lot or not that much, okay? And once I know if it is significant, I can just check, you know, for the client, and I could say, well, let me just show if there is, what are the emotion that is behind that? Or I could decide what are the chromosomes behind that. Or maybe there is a virus, okay? So let's say that we will just use the part of the virus, okay? Is there a virus, you know, that could have weakened, you know, the immune system of that person? Okay, so what we will do, we will just do. So what I could do, I have the list of some virus here, okay? Then I could just come in here, I have immune weakness, and I just click test item hold 3 above. And it will tell me. So the idea here, again, it's not to detect. We will not detect if there is a virus. It's some frequencies that is there. It can be some memories. It can be some whatever, you know, that the person had been in touch with somebody who had that. And there is, as I said, some memories of the past, of everything. What is important, look at that, the yellow fever here. So maybe he was vaccinated for that, yes or no. And then I could just click and then, you know, do my, you know, the harmonization. So the idea, what we are doing is just trying to make sure that the system is reacting very, very good. And then I have some measure here that can show me how it is, you know, done. So again, what I would like also to show you quickly is that we have what we call the disease dictionary, and then I can work and then work on the disease dictionary. I like, you know, there are plenty of things I could work on. The immunity, where I have, you know, some immune or infection and all of those immunity. Or I like to work on the thymus, because the thymus is the most important. Is the most important if we want to, you know, this is the first organ that is to protect. So I can work on the thymus disease and just try to harmonize this, okay? Even if the person, and then I can check, and then I can see how many times the system need to harmonize this disease with that client. And we are always working on the energy. We are not working on the physical. I mean, it will have an effect on the physical, but we are not here to do any I would say diagnosis. So we need to remember that, and always with the client, we always talk about stress. I will, if I say I will come and talk with disease, thymus disease, I will say stress to the thymus, okay? Just to make sure that the client feel, understand. I can work something also. I can work on vaccine, okay? And then I can just look at vaccine and find all the vaccine in here. And then I will have a list of the vaccine, okay? And then there is like no real reactivity. There is no red, no yellow, no violet. So this is good. But then, you know, there is a few things, you know, the vaccine that is more, I would say more reactive here is measles, okay? Measles, like for me, I would work, like if it was me, I would work on the polio vaccine, because I know that the polio vaccine was not good for me. I could just put the polio vaccine, and then I could work and say, okay, well, my dear device, you will work on the immunity and the polio vaccine. And then I can say, let's look at that and see if this has a problem with my chromosome. You understand? So they are full of, I would say, of a combination of interpretation, and, you know, everything is possible. And then it will tell me, okay, you know, work on this chromosome, this one, and then I will keep track of that, and then I can work on this. If I say, oh, the first chromosome is 20p, and then the chromosome 20p, and I might say, well, okay, this is the one I will work. So, or this one, let's say that the 18Q here. So what I could do, I could just bring it down there, and then I can work in here. You have, I don't know if you have seen what I did. So the idea is that we can just work, you know, very clearly. We have plenty of things. The system identified the chromosome. I say, okay, well, let me just work. And then what I will do, I will look at what is the I would say the link with the mental, you know, with this chromosome. If I'm working on the chromosome, I could work on anything. I could have decided to work on the meridian of the small intestine, because we know that the small intestine is involved with the immunity also. So this is something that is important. I could just have a look and, you know, do the full research I showed you in my PowerPoint a few minutes ago. You know, all the numbers I will come and show you in here. But, you know, we had all those numbers, you know, chronic inflammation, immune. I can look at all those numbers and then harmonize one by one, or as what we call a cocktail. And I could come to the auto zap here, and then I can zap plenty of things. All the virus, the worms, bacteria, fungus, prion is so important, you know, rickettsia, and then all those virus from the same West African disease. You know, this was mainly related to the Ebola, okay? So this is really something that is very much interesting. I myself, you know, to look for everybody, I come and then I will test on the Epstein-Barr virus. Epstein-Barr virus is, according to me, a very good signal, a very good measure. And then I called it EBV. I will just go do a search, And then I say, oh, look at that, there is here a sensitivity or vulnerability to this Epstein-Barr virus, okay? Then I can work on that. I could even test it, you know, more in greater detail with individual reaction. Then it will tell me more and more and more, what is this problem? And during this time, what I can do, I can work on some of the thing, you know. We have plenty of modules, and then I always like to have the 4 modules established and to work in here as we are working on the immunity. We have plenty of things, but we have, you remember when we were talking about the neuroimmuno, the link between the neurology, the system, the nervous system, and the immune system. Sorry, so this is, then I can just come and then it will work on that. I could at the same time say, oh, I would like to work on the immunity, the immune system here, and then they work on the thymus or all the organ. But that's, I would say, can you work on the thymus at the same time? I can put many of those therapies, you know, while it is working in here, and I come here, and then the system, the system tell me, you know, I will not explain here, but it will tell me, give me enough information for me to know if this is, you know, important for that client, yes or no. And at this point, it is a no, not that much. Okay, and then I could see the link, what it is, and, you know, how I can work with the homeopathic and everything. So this is really important, because then we can measure. And also, what I would like to tell you here, it is what important for sure, it is to work on the blood. For me, it is essential to work on the blood. And then it is EDUCTOR, immune stem and blood cleanse. And just remember that each time you work on the blood, you work on your blood, you work on the blood of any member of your family, of anybody who has the same blood as you. So again, it is key when we talk about immunity. So I just want also to show you, while I will do this, I want to show you that we have plenty also of acupuncture. So I guess the practitioner have all those acupuncture point lists where you can, you know, just say, okay, well, I will work on, you know, all those, you know, if there is a problem, the person is coughing, those are all the acupuncture points. And we have plenty for immunity. 1 second, I will just come to the immunity, fever, flu, you know, you just do, and then once you have the point, the acupuncture point, sorry, the immune, you get that immune. So what I can do, I can just come here, we'll finish this, close, and then we can work on, you know, this immunity problem, you know, immune, let's say if there is an immune problem, and you can go into the ear to meridian, and we have plenty of those programs where I can work here with individual point by point, you know, the acupuncture point. And I could just even write here, my concern is immunity. And then the system would just, you know, find, you know, what is the point for today. Oh, okay, so for him, this is the kidney, okay? So this is something that is important. Then I can use, if I want to do, I can just do and write, you know, if I go into this list and I have all the list, I could do this one by one, and I can harmonize many acupuncture points at the same time with this process. So this is just absolutely, according to me, just wonderful. So again, the time is finished, but I just at least want to show you what I feel is, you know, all those, you know, because when we talk about the immunity, we end up with degeneration. I should not say cancer, the stress that is behind the cancer. And we have plenty of very nice therapies that we call degeneration. Then we have degeneration, and then I have super degeneration therapy. And I have another one if I have a doctor, which is high frequency degeneration. So look at that. I have plenty of therapies. And then when I work on this, I think it is just lovely. Look at that alarm, because I did not prepare the young man. And then we can work on all those who knows about the therapies of Hammer. We have all this program in our system, and we can work a lot about the emotion that are weakening our, the immune system of the client. So I will not be able to look too much on this, because the time is finished. But I want to just complete, my thing here. You will have all those numbers, and then, what I like, here is just to show you that we have all those frequencies for the, those virus, and this was the example from my sister. I think it was just lovely. I will not explain this too long. And here is related for the white blood cell. We have many therapies for that, and we have all those numbers, for all those immunoglobulin, for the phagocyte, and then, so this is like nice, very, very nice. What is interesting is that all the science has been programmed in a device, and we just need to know how it works. And also, again, it does not replace. You might have a good coach as a homeopath, as a doctor. I don't say that this has to replace the regular medicine, but for sure, when you have a response like there is nothing we can do for you, madam, you will end up in wheelchair. We will just try to make it later. I mean, this is what I was told in Paris, in London, in Canada, in India. I could not believe it. So, and then I'm so happy I did not believe what they were saying. And then I did not take, for the last, well, I have never taken any medicine for this multiple sclerosis except 10 days of pills. After, during those 25 years, I took 10 days. And then over the last 15 years, I did not take any medicine. Sure, I don't see a doctor, and then I don't see a neurologist. I do not say that everybody should do that. It's mainly because I'm traveling. I don't have time to go and visit a doctor, because I'm traveling. But I have my device. So this is why, it is so wonderful. It is really a portable device. So we have all those nice, I would say, device, SCIO EDUCTOR, and then INDIGO, and then we have the new QX that will come there in a few weeks, okay? So again, that is very wonderful. So what I would suggest, because it is the end of our webinar, is that for the next step for the non-practitioners, that they could, well, first and look at our, they could have a test, if they want. I'm very happy to give, a 45-minute free demo test just to show how it's working, through internet. You could visit our, YouTube, our BioQuantum World, and then to inquire about our future online training in English, for those who would like to learn about that. Those training also will be good for those who already are a practitioner who would like to have some refresher course. I will start also some coaching with our program for the expert training about the 8 pillars of health. And then I will provide more information for that for all those who are practitioners, because I really believe that those we need to master very well the device. And then it's not only the beginner, the advanced, all of this is good, but we need to go deeper, and really try to understand and do the work for all, the pillar of health. If we want really to make sure that our body and we will live longer and healthier and reach the 120 and become superhuman. Immunity is one aspect. There are many other aspects, okay? So this is mainly what I have to offer. And then also this quantum coaching for VIP. VIP is very independent person. I like to work with people who want to become independent, who are not dependent, who want to take charge and want to do something. Then I'm really happy to help. So you are so welcome to keep my my information here, my phone number, and then I don't know if you have question. What I will do, I will just finish this webinar. You know, I will just stop the recording, and if you have any question, you can write. I hope it was useful. It was interesting. We, you know, for sure it was an overview. It was not a training, it's an overview of this whole thing. And I really believe that there is opportunity for all of us. We should not have fear. And on the contrary, it would really help us to just say that we have, you know, we have grown, you know, in our health, in our autonomy, and then our understanding of life. And then I have one motto: do not follow the crowd. So if the crowd goes in one place, I will go on the other way. Okay, so if everybody talk about this coronavirus and then they are afraid and this, I will not go into the fear. And then also I will prepare. I will not wait for, you know, do I have, may I, you know, I just need to know that my immune system is working properly. Okay, so again, you're welcome to write any question. I will just stop the recording now.